Welcome to the Coincheck podcast. On this week's episode, we discuss the Bitcoin Gold double spend attack. Verge, Taylor, and Cypherium Chain all got hacked. Coincheck is removing privacy coins, and we have interviews from Hack Miami. All that and more on episode number 19 of the Coincheck podcast.
You want to secure your assets.
We can crack the wallet.
Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs, character adversary, attribution mode.
With our private keys combined.
Building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably secure.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto. The Coincheck podcast. The Coincheck podcast is a podcast about cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies with a focus on securing them. Don't let the hum of our dual-purpose crypto miner / password crackers in the background disrupt your listening pleasure. I'm your host, Bo Bullock, and today I have with me Mike Felch. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be here.
Welcome. We made it back
Yes.
safely from Miami.
Yeah, Hack Miami. It wasn't that bad of a drive. I think it was 4 hours for
Except
us.
the rain. Oh my god. It was pouring.
The rain there was bad. The rain back wasn't as bad.
Right, yeah, it wasn't terrible on the way back. But on the way there, it was I don't know, I felt like I was driving through a tsunami.
Yeah. Yep.
And Ralph was there with us. What's up, Ralph?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, it rained the whole time we were there, pretty much.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. So much for hitting that beach, man.
Yeah,
Those were-
right.
Those were my tears as I was crying from not being at the conference.
Well, obviously you were extremely upset about the whole scenario.
I was until I heard it rain the whole time. Then I don't feel so bad.
And that is the voice of Steve Borosh. What's up, Steve?
Hey, not much. I'm doing well. Ready to kick this one off.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a good time at Hack Miami. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Sweet.
But before we do that, I guess we can jump into the current state of the market, which it's been pretty terrible. So today's May 24th of 2018. Our overall market cap is at $338 billion, which is down from $368 billion last week. And I think, 400 something the week before that, and 450 the week before that. It's just been kind of steadily dropping, guys.
That's the time to buy.
Yeah, buy the dip.
Buy the dip.
Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down, Ripple's down. Bitcoin's sitting at 7,583. So I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out what the heck's going on. We follow a good amount of traders and stuff on Twitter, and I try to understand what are some of the things that drive some of these changes, but I really couldn't find anything that was just this is why the price is dropping right now. But one interesting thing that I did see is that the U.S. Department of Justice is actually investigating Bitcoin price manipulation. They have a full-on actual investigation now into determining who, if some entity is actually trying to modify the prices in order to, make money, cheating the game, basically. So I guess the way that would work is, they put in a bunch of fake orders that are later canceled. So on a market, right? If you go on an exchange and then put in a ton of fake orders for, different values that are, meant to make, I guess, the price look like it's going in a certain direction. Mm-hmm. And then they cancel all those orders.
I mean, cryptocurrency is ripe for manipulation, right?
Yeah, it's the Wild West.
It is the Wild West. It's an unregulated industry,
Is it ever going to mellow out, you think?
I think after the regulation, sure.
Yeah. There's blood in the water.
And actually, I'm ready for it. Let's get this stability going down the road.
Seriously.
These wild swings are crazy. I was looking at Ripple. I think, Bo, you had mentioned something to me or showed me this tweet before. I was wondering how the price was doing after that Ashton Kutcher on Ellen, where he donated $4 million on behalf. It says $4 million on behalf of Ripple.
Right.
Did he donate $4 million to Ripple, or
No, I think it's $4
how do
million,
they work?
It's
but
4 million equivalent dollars. Yeah.
yeah, and Ripple.
But
Yeah.
they did it on the show. It only took 1 second.
He got Ellen to actually like push the transfer button, which transferred the XRP tokens, I believe.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But like looking at that, I don't see the price of Ripple going up.
Yeah, I really don't see the price of any coins going up right now.
That's true. Yeah, I mean that screenshot I sent you guys yesterday, it just looked like blood. Like it's just all red.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah, but I mean, I really like seeing that stuff. I mean, even though it's like, it's Ripple, it's Ashton Kutcher, it's on the Ellen show, but I mean, like seeing cryptocurrency making its way more into the mainstream is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, all right. So let's say that they're hunting down, right? Like, or the Department of Justice is trying to figure out who is like potentially like manipulating the price of Bitcoin. How do you find that person? I mean, is that like, do you go to the exchanges and like look at who's making big purchases and then canceling their orders and then trying to track down who that is?
And
Follow the money.
Yeah, totally.
What's your threshold for fake orders? Like how many? Like maybe there's some auto bot traders out there that just have stuff scripted out. You know what I mean?
And how many people are doing that is the other question.
Okay.
Yeah.
But realistically, so federal government investigating computer intrusions, crimes of that nature, they're just now getting to the point where they have computer scientists that can actually do that kind of work.
Now I thought you were going to say they're just getting to the point of having computers. I was like, yeah.
You throw in blockchain technologies, weird math, which they're probably pretty good at, and you start going down a whole nother very technical role. It's going to be leaps and bounds before they get caught up to it. That's just I can't imagine them being able to tackle something like this kind of investigation very quickly.
And not to mention that
it's new for everybody. I mean, I don't know. I just can't see it.
Yeah, and the other big thing is like, so this is the U.S. Department of Justice, right? Like, there's a ton of other exchanges that are out of our country where the price is being manipulated just as much. So, yeah, good luck.
Or even the user could be out of the country or completely, quote unquote anonymous.
So I just put my conspiracy hat on real quick. What if it was just like a fear thing where they were just trying to see if they can manipulate the market by saying that they're coming after the market?
Nice.
So we announced it, and now Bitcoin drops.
Hang on, I'm making my tinfoil hat.
Okay.
There's obviously market manipulation going on. Whether they prove it or not, or pin the person down. I mean, I feel like there is, right? Some of it is fear, but I think there's definitely manipulation going on. I mean, how else? I mean, how else are some of these people, planning to make all this money, right? They got to have big swings. So if they can artificially create them, I think they're going to. So no surprise there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see where the price goes next week, because I mean it's just been, I don't know. Maybe we should try to do like more of an analysis on certain coins and the trends and stuff, like for like a tech segment or something sometime soon. Or maybe we should have somebody who's actually good at like trading on the show. That'd be fun.
I actually have a friend of mine who he's actually a great listener. He's always sending me cool stories, and he listens to the podcast, and he's actually in the finance industry. I've known him since like the 90s. He used to be like super technical, and then he went to school for like finance, and now he's back technical. So he's just built his miner, and he's really smart with understanding like what to look for when he's mining some of these altcoins. And but we talk regularly. He'd be a great person to have on the show.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Cool. Alrighty. So let's chat about Hack Miami some. That was fun. It was the whole theme of Hack Miami this year was blockchain and chill, which I thought was amazing. Yeah, there was a number of good cryptocurrency related talks there. Ralph, what was the one you went to on Saturday?
Oh, geez. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I know it was the research on finding the entropy in creating cryptocurrency wallets or blockchain or Bitcoin wallets, excuse me. And that entropy actually, long story short, is they were reusing Bitcoin wallet addresses to create the keys for new Bitcoin wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And so once they figured it out, they just went through the whole blockchain and made new wallets based off of all public keys, and they ended up recovering or gaining access to about $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So fun stuff, right?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, why would they use that?
Yeah, it seems stupid, right? But so the problem is that it takes some computing power to create that entropy. And if we have one wallet, no big deal. But when we have thousands of wallets being made every day and maybe more, it costs money. And all that compute time is in AWS and other things like that. And so they were saving money.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I didn't look at it.
But then we went to Brandon's talk, Brandon Arvanagi's talk on pen testing dApps. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart dude.
Oh yeah, I totally want to spend a lot of time, actually doing some research into the pen testing dApps more. I think there's a lot to learn there, and I think it's one of those things that's like kind of a niche area that we're going to see a lot more of in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're seeing them regular. I mean, there's always something new coming, and yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Especially with everyone copying stuff too. So
yeah, and then what else? They had an Ethereum miner workshop there.
Oh, they had that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Did you guys get to sit in on that at all?
No, we actually met the guy and we interviewed him, which actually we're gonna play this in just a few, but we actually interviewed him, the guy that did the workshop.
Nice. So did they go basically soup to nuts on what parts to buy and actually build it right there in front of everybody, and how'd that go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I saw what he brought, which it was a few cards and kind of like a wooden rack of sorts, and I think he just probably walked through the whole build process, which is still really cool, right? I mean, just how to build a miner and stuff. But honestly, I wasn't there, so I can't actually speak for exactly what happened. He might have walked through the whole part list and stuff, which would be awesome. But actually, I think we might actually bring him on the show. To do an episode with us, and maybe we can just walk through the whole build a miner with them.
Yeah, someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Versus...
Yeah, Ralph, you build your miner yet?
Yeah, no, I did.
Oh, sweet. Is it up, man? Is it cracking hash?
It was until this afternoon when we lost power in the house, and then I had to turn it off because I didn't have a choice. I had no power. But yeah, so. Now that the power's back on, kick it back on. So.
Oh man, that's brutal. So did the miner kick off your power? Is that what happened?
That would be funny. No, it was like a lightning strike, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was. I heard it. It was pretty loud. But anyways, yeah. So.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, amongst all that stuff, we did a talk on the security considerations around cryptocurrency, and I think it went pretty well. We had a pretty good sizable audience, and we actually met a few of our listeners, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
No,
lots of people there. I don't know, it felt kind of cool to be around other people in the security industry that were doing stuff with cryptocurrency.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Too many times I see on like Twitter and stuff, the InfoSec people just bashing cryptocurrency and blockchain. Like it's a bad word.
Yeah.
We addressed that. We addressed that.
Yeah, we did.
We tried to address it at least.
Cool. Did you hand out stickers?
Oh yeah.
I put them all over the place. I put them in the room. I put stickers all over my room, so everyone's gonna know there. And then I was just handing them out, throwing them in the air anywhere I could see. No, but we did hand them out though.
We've seen a good talk on Stratum mining pool attacks.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was interesting. They had they
had a new tool they wrote
for TCP injection, but they did it in a way where they were man-in-the-middling miners to the pool, and then like receiving the work from the pool, and then passing it on to the miner, and then like receiving, like intercepting it, and then sending the work back, and kind of for the
on behalf of the yeah.
But they wrote some pretty cool. They forked a tool, I guess, and kind of, or did they rewrite it, or did they fork something? I forget what he was saying, but anyway, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool attacks.
Cool, yeah. So while we were there, we managed to get a few interviews. So let's go ahead and roll the footage from Hack Miami. Here are a few interviews for you guys.
All right, so this is Ralph here, and we're here at Hack Miami. I'm here with Jose, and we were going to ask you a couple questions, just pretty much about blockchain technology, security, stuff like that. And so what do you think is more impactful to society, cryptocurrency or blockchain?
I think blockchain is way more impactful.
Yeah?
Overall. Yeah. I think the capacity goes beyond just a financial system, essentially replacing financial system.
Sure.
It's just way more use cases. I mean, and right now it's very early on, very prototype-ish, MVP type phase.
Sure.
I think as the technology evolves and gets better, there'll be better use cases for and more hashed out use cases, just like everything else in the world, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. So I got another question for you. What do you see as the biggest problem to security in the cryptocurrency ecosystem?
I think the biggest problem to security
Okay, so cryptocurrency and security, like what do you think one of the biggest issues are that cryptocurrency is facing as far as security goes?
I think a lot has, in my opinion, the biggest one is parties attempting to legitimize, essentially unmask whomever's behind a certain wallet.
Sure.
It's one of the biggest issues behind it, because one of the biggest tenet to cryptocurrencies is the fact that it's anonymized to a certain extent. And that's one of the tenets that make it extremely powerful and palatable as a financial system, I believe. And then things like, for example, chain analysis we were chatting about earlier, I think pose a huge security risk to the entire ecosystem, because if you can tie down a wallet address to a human to a certain extent, or to a corporation, I think removes a whole tenet of the entire cryptocurrency market. So I think that's personally one of the biggest threats. Another big threat, in my opinion, to a certain extent, is the way it gets utilized in certain places. Right now, when it comes, like, for example, every time you see a hack in a cryptocurrency, is essentially multi-million dollars hack, but it doesn't really necessarily correlate to that in financial value. So people don't see it as a legitimate thing. And so I don't see a lot of security companies trying to secure.
So they think it's like fake money, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And so we have more security companies looking over and saying, you know what, let's treat this just like we treat financial institutions and protect these assets like they were financial assets. I mean, because they are. I think it's not necessarily a security threat against it, it's a legitimacy threat.
Sure.
To a certain extent.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, those two are, to a certain extent, the legitimacy, or security companies looking at the legitimacy of the coin and trying to secure those, I think it poses a bigger threat, because you see more and more hacks happen throughout time instead
absolutely.
of cleaning those up.
Yeah.
And it makes security worse overall in the market system. And then the other aspect of it, again, is you have companies attempting to complete dwarf one of the tenets of cryptocurrencies, like chain analysis, is another threat. Which is why, in my opinion, it makes coins like Monero and Zcash a lot more valuable for what they're currently worth in the market overall.
No, it definitely makes sense.
Again, my opinion, but
Yeah, no, awesome, for sure. So I got one last question for you. So do you think that mining is evil, a necessary evil, or is it evil at all?
I don't think it's evil at all, and I don't think it's also a necessary evil. I think mining is to a certain extent a good mechanism for fostering building coins.
Yeah.
Let me tackle, if you don't mind, let me tackle from another angle.
Yes, go ahead.
If you look at the founders of Ethereum view of why they're going to proof of stake versus proof of work, is one of the reasons is the power consumption would eventually destroy our resources, right, for mining. And so proof of stake, there's no power consumption because you're not putting essentially CPU behind that. I think we should look at the problem in reverse, where why don't we make power a lot more available, or renewable power, for example, a lot more available and more easily accessible, which can drive mining, and not vice versa. Let's not change this piece of technology that we know works already at scale, right? Because Bitcoin has proven it to us. And adjust mining, essentially adjust the consensus algorithm, right? Proof of work. To eliminate the power consumption costs. I think what we should be looking at is how do we solve the power problem? Let's not solve the mining problem. I don't think mining is essentially the problem here, which is why I don't think it's, again, evil or a necessary evil at all.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks,
of course.
man.
Thank you for the good questions.
Yeah, man.
Hey, this is Bo Bullock. I'm at Hack Miami, and I've got Seth Wall with me.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on? So, Seth, you're a fellow Deadhead miner.
Deadpool.
The Deadpool, yes. So, Steve, he says hi. So, what would you consider to be the most impactful to society currently, cryptocurrency or blockchain?
Oh, definitely blockchain.
Yep.
I mean, but you can get rid of blockchain and still have all of the same features. You could do a distributed hash table, or other node type networks. It's just the concept. It's the concept of having a trustless system that solves things like the Byzantine generals problem and problems like degradation or elimination of nodes, where things are there and then they're not, and you have to figure out how to fall back.
Sure thing.
So like, how do you maintain a network of things that can be disappearing? It's almost a quantum issue, like where the atoms are here but they're not.
Sure.
How do we maintain this in some semblance of order when it's absolutely chaos?
Absolutely. And so on the cryptocurrency side of things, right? Do you think that's just a mechanism to get blockchain out there currently, or do you think like there's going to be different innovations that happen around blockchain other than cryptocurrency?
So cryptocurrency is the most natural progression, or most natural proof of concept, or minimum viable product for a blockchain, because it lends itself for easy implementation. It's super easy to get out there, but then the blockchain technology and all of the ideas and concepts and protocols and procedures that are being built around these cryptocurrencies are a stepping stone towards much better things.
For sure. All right. So, what do you think is the biggest problem in terms of security overall in the cryptocurrency ecosystem today?
Binary releases of wallets.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. And I would take it that comes with any forked coins that come off, and you have the wallet that comes
every
out the
single
next
one
day.
of them. Because if you look at cybersecurity and the cybersecurity ecosystem, you have the white hats and the black hats, right? And then you have what you find is that you put out a cybersecurity tool for helping other sysadmins and your own people, but then you fill it full of viruses because they're the high value targets.
Sure.
Right? So the miners are the high value target here. So you either put viruses into the wallets, mainly the QT wallets and stuff like that, because it's only the highly technical people using them.
For sure.
Or you put it into the mining applications, because it's only the people who are highly technical using it, and you smash these high value targets.
That's awesome. Do you have any other comments for the general security, anything InfoSec around cryptocurrency?
Say that one more time.
Any other comments just in general around InfoSec and cryptocurrency?
Oh, that's super general, man.
Yeah, it's super general. Just anything
you
you'd
hit
like
me with
to
the
throw
bus too quick. I mean, I'm really excited to where it's going because I think that it's moving towards a proof of effort system, and I'm all in on that. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
I need it to happen, or I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not particularly worried about proof of work or versus proof of stake versus X and Y. It's like everybody knows where we're going. Get on the bus. We're all going towards a massive hardware as a service infrastructure on the blockchain where you can basically compute anything and you just pay coin and compute it and you get back answers.
For sure. Awesome, dude. Seth, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, this is Bo at Hack Miami. I am here with Cedric.
How you doing, everyone?
All right, so hey, Cedric, I just got a couple questions for you, man. We have a podcast about cryptocurrency and security, and so the first question is, what do you think is going to be more impactful to society in the future, blockchain or cryptocurrencies in general?
Well, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, I believe it's going to be the blockchain. It's what's controlling everything, and at the moment, you can see all these different crypto companies that are focusing on the blockchain and making that better. There's so many applications out there, and there's really no limit to what the blockchain can solve, but the future will tell.
Sure, for sure, man. So in terms of security, do you see anything being a major problem in terms of security for cryptocurrencies or blockchain?
As far as security, there's a bunch of problems out there.
Yeah. That's why we have our podcast. For sure. That's why we started it.
I actually came up with something called crypto checks. It hopefully will solve that issue with security. I want to be able to basically give my grandmother Bitcoin. I can explain to her how to create a generator wallet offline and protected. I can explain to her all the different crypto apps there is out there and funnel those for her. But at the end of the day, it's my grandma, and she made.
So how do you give your grandma Bitcoin?
Right. That's the issue. With crypto checks, we actually created Bitcoin wallets. We're able to create them for any blockchain there is and customize them to your business or name. We can put your name with the wallet. Basically, they come with public and private key pairs. My solution to the security with this is the private key pair. It's sealed with a tamper-proof evidence seal so that once you fund the public address, the private address is protected. And when that happens, you can pass it on to anyone. Now,
yeah, we've got a few of these here, and I'm looking at them, and so it's essentially like a printed wallet, right? With it looks like there's some tamper evidence seals,
correct,
over the private key portion of it.
The best part of this is the fact that this is created completely offline. Your private key never touches the internet, unlike some of the wallets that are made out there now. I've done my research. With pretty much every wallet, there's been issues with security. The end goal is really sweeping the wallets.
So what do you are you selling these? Is this as a product? Is this
Correct. We're actually in the pre-sale phase. We're raising funds to fully create all the multiple wallets there are.
Okay, awesome. So for each different token, are you doing like smart contract tokens as well?
Yes, we can. We're going to do ERC20 based wallets,
awesome.
Ethereum wallets. You'll be able to send all your ERC20 compatible currencies to this wallet and spend it there.
So how are you shipping them in a tamper evident package as well?
Yeah. Once you get them, it'll be completely sealed.
Okay.
So you'll know if they've ever been tampered with. The best thing, like I said, about this is it's a paper wallet.
Sure.
You can trust nothing's going to happen to this. Unlike some of these digital wallets out there, you run the risk of getting it wet. Just like your phone. If your phone gets stolen, your wallets are gone. If you haven't backed up your private keys or remembered your seed wallet address.
Absolutely.
like I said, the crypto checks solve those issues. You get a physical wallet, tangible item that grandma can hold.
So where can people find crypto checks?
Just you can visit cryptochecks.com and gain all your information.
That's crypto with a CHEX on the end, correct?
Correct. Crypto CHEX. Cryptochecks.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back, and yeah, those are some awesome interviews, huh, guys?
Yeah, sweet.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the coin security news for the week. First off, I think this is probably the biggest story of the week. Bitcoin Gold hit by a double spend attack. So a malicious miner successfully executed a double spend attack on the Bitcoin Gold network last week, making Bitcoin Gold at least the third altcoin to succumb to a network attack during that time span. So yeah, we'll also talk about the other big one, which is Verge, here in a second as well. But yeah, so it was a 51% attack, right?
Yeah, that's what they were saying it was. Really interesting how, like, I don't know why they did it this way, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it a little bit, but it looks like they sent some to an exchange and then the same to a wallet that they own, I guess. And so the part that's
reverted something?
Yeah, so then they were able to reverse the transactions because they had the majority control, right? So they use them and then reverse the transactions, but I'm wondering, like, when they reverse the transactions, how does that work? Is that how they're draining from exchanges? Because once they transfer it to the exchange and then they reverse it, that the exchange sends it back to them?
No, I thought they were converting the coins. So they were sending the coins to the exchange, right? And so, they have control. They're sending coins. The exchange verifies it after so many blocks. I can't remember what it is for gold. I think it's 22 blocks. And then they would hold the network, the power. And then after the exchange verified that it was, a confirmed transaction, they would convert that coin to a different coin on the exchange and then transfer it out and then stop the attack. And then when they stop the attack, the rest of the network would catch up and they would go, hey, that didn't happen. And then the exchange would be like, oh, well, that transaction really never occurred. But at that point, they'd already transferred new coins from a different cryptocurrency out of the exchange. Yeah.
Oh, so they were actually stealing from exchanges.
Yeah. That's how they're making their money.
That's how they're making the money. Yeah.
That was the confusing part that I didn't get. Like, I get sending it to a wallet that they control, but I didn't understand how they were draining exchanges, because that was the part that was okay. That makes sense.
You could convert it to any coin.
Yeah. So it says they could have stolen as much as $18.6 million worth of funds from exchanges.
I love it. So the lead developer, the advice was to actually raise the confirmation requirements to 50 blocks, right? And what that really has to do is the fact with that they have to control that 51% the entire time that all those blocks are being confirmed. So the more blocks have to be confirmed, the harder it is to pull off that attack.
Would that make longer transaction times too?
What's up? Yeah. But it would only affect the transaction times on that exchange, right? So the exchange is saying, hey, we want at least 50 blocks before, we confirm that it's real.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm looking at the hash rate for Bitcoin Gold over the last few months, and it's steadily dropped. And I think it dropped to a point where somebody realized that, hey, we've got enough that we can overtake this. But I'm wondering, can the exchange trace who was pushing that much hash rate and track back who the attacker was based on the amount of hashes submitted?
That would be on the pool, wherever they submitted it, though, right? I mean, if they have, think about it though. If they have 51% of the network, they're probably not even using a normal pool. Yeah,
no, just try their own,
direct mining node.
Mm-hmm.
They're using all those Jenkins installers.
WebLogic.
Yeah. So Steve, I mean, in terms of hashing power, like, what are we talking here? Like, I mean, I'm wondering how much hashing power they had.
Oh god!
And
What
he means by that is how much hashing power does he need?
Whatever.
I'm just kidding.
So
Is
this
Bitcoin
was
Gold
on
SHA
May.
SHA-256 like Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It is. So can you use Bitcoin ASICs for Bitcoin Gold? Or is it
I
different?
believe so.
Huh. Interesting.
What hashing algorithm is Gold on? Isn't it on?
That's what I was just asking.
No, it's SHA-256, I believe.
Is it SHA-256? I thought
Yeah.
it was something else. I don't know why. So
Actually, it says they're Equihash.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that's the same as Zcash.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
so yeah. No, that doesn't make sense. Why would because didn't Zcash just come out with some ASICs recently?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody used that probably to.
It's a conspiracy.
It was Bitmain. I'm just kidding. Nothing to validate that.
You know what? Actually, hold on. No. There is definitely a conspiracy here because I'm pretty sure the guy who invented Bitcoin Gold got in a huge argument with fake Toshi. What's his name? Craig Wright this weekend. No, there was. Hold on. Let me find this real quick because.
The plot thickens.
Yeah,
You heard it here first, folks.
No. Check it out. Fake Toshi walks out of room after clash with Bitcoin Gold's Jack Lau.
Yeah.
He did it.
He went home and he fired up the miners.
I'll show you.
Well, I guess this was after, probably, so it doesn't really work time wise. This was like just a day or two ago, so it probably doesn't match up quite with their timeline for that 51%.
No, there was definitely a spike in the hash rate on the 18th. So you can see where the attack took place and then died off. Pretty cool to see, but it's pretty sad that kind of thing can happen on something that's supposed to be decentralized, you know?
The more of these coins we have, though, the more likely this is to happen, right? I mean, everyone's like, I don't want to mine this thing. I don't believe it, or I don't like it, or whatever it may be. And then, somebody else is like, well, I have a way to make some money. But the real downside, I think, is that exchanges will just stop accepting coins that have too much hashing volatility, right? Because there's just not enough people hashing it. They're going to be like, it's not worth accepting. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
if they keep losing millions of dollars, I wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, so the sister story to this is that Verge also had a similar kind of issue happen, where two of Verge's 5 hashing algorithms were used to maliciously mine more than 35 million XVG, worth approximately $1.75 million in just a few hours.
This is such a cool attack. Like, I know it's a bad thing, right? It's bad, whatever. But this is really cool because this isn't just like something where they just took over the majority of the network. It's like the sophistication of doing block manipulation by, mining, like submitting blocks with a spoofed timestamp of early, in order to trigger the mining difficulty to be lowered so that they could leverage an algorithm to mine, but not against all of the other miners in the entire community that's mining, only those miners that are using that specific algorithm, and then getting majority on that in order to take the attack from something that takes forever, or the average difficulty in hours being like really high, to 0.0002 basically decreasing the difficulty like 99.99% in order to mine a bunch of blocks really quickly. That's insane elaborate. That's awesome.
It's like chaining exploits together.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
totally,
You see it.
Totally.
It's crazy. I don't know. I was looking at the
the ingenuity is fantastic, right?
It is. You could tell they've definitely built on this. Like they found leverageable, and they probably just built on it, and then it dawned on them: how do we reduce it so that we're not competing on the difficulty against the entire network? And then you just eliminate it because they're allowing 5 different algorithms. You eliminate it by choosing one, and now you only have to get majority control over that one algorithm, which is much easier. Mm-hmm. Especially since there's scrypt ASICs. I don't know. That's crazy. That's just mind-boggling. I love this one. I love this story actually. Besides like the bad side.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm wondering is how did it happen again, right? Because isn't that basically the exact same attack that happened before? Whenever they changed the timestamp, and remember they changed it to like the wrong time before, and he was like, "Oops," and then he like changed it again.
Yeah, so because of these blocks coming in at different times, right? So the underlying algorithm and the system, the protocol itself has to be able to allow these blocks to come in because of the decentralization, right? So these blocks can all come in at random times. So just because it's an earlier block doesn't necessarily mean the timestamps on it. So what they did, which Verge did, was they gave it like a 2-hour window. So now when somebody's submitting a block, they could put a timestamp on it. This is back to the thing that we were talking about a couple episodes back, where we were talking about you can't generate random number generation from the timestamps on these blocks,
right? Because
they're not necessarily guaranteed. But so they did that. They submitted the block with an older time, and then so you're the protocol and you're looking at it like, oh, you know what? These blocks that are coming in, it's taking a really long time, so maybe it's too difficult. So let's like make this thing easier to mine, and that's ultimately what they're doing. So I just think that was crazy.
I have to say the person who made the first comment on the Reddit post of this wins the internet for the week. They basically said someone is securing his lifetime Pornhub membership.
Yeah.
Pornhub now accepting XVG. So, anyways,
this seems like a lot of money for Pornhub. Just
moving on.
Verge is sitting at a whopping like 4 cents right now. So hodl that for a minute.
Alrighty. So the third story is another hack. Man, so much hacking going on this week. So Taylor and Cypherium Chain hacked. So Taylor, I had not heard of this project prior to actually reading this article, but apparently they are a developing crypto trading app. For doing like trader stuff, right? Like trading cryptocurrency. And they were hacked on or around May 20th with 2,578.98 Ether stolen and approximately 659,000 Tay coins. I guess, I don't think there's a whole lot of information about it yet. I think there's been some claims that, there's not really much evidence, and of course there's a lot of people that are talking exit scam stuff with it being an ICO.
Man, is that just how you do the scam now? I mean, is that it? Is that the recipe?
You make the ICO, get the funding, and then get hacked, and then just go.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Oh, we got hacked. Sorry guys, it was a good idea. We made a good run."
We talked about that. A few episodes, not a few, but quite a few episodes ago, we talked about that Indian exchange where there was like owned by 2 people, and then the one guy transferred the coins out and said, "What about it?"
Yeah, so like if you have an ICO, or any sort of blockchain or cryptocurrency related thing where you're storing large amounts of any coin, actually pay more attention to the way you're storing that stuff. There's really no reason that like any of that should be like in a hot wallet. Like the majority of it anyway.
That's a good indicator. I bet you if you go back through all and I got quotes here, ICOs that were hacked, I wonder how many of them, I mean, the majority of them are probably keeping X like tokens in there. I wonder if you could go find some scam ICOs that went. I guarantee keeping all those tokens into in it, or all of the coins in a hot wallet, like is a good indicator that you're probably about to get scammed.
That is a great point. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at it, I mean, you can go all around the internet looking up, ICO, like start your own ICO. That's the number one thing. Don't do that. Well, so if they are doing that, then
yeah, but I mean, the problem there is you're going to have the majority that don't move it out. Like right now anyway. I would guarantee, like, if you were to do an analysis on all the like Ether addresses of every ICO, you would probably see that most of them haven't moved it anywhere. I would bet.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess here's the thing, right? Like, if I'm starting an ICO and I have that address, the fact that that address has coins in it makes it look like I'm having a successful ICO.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
That is a motivator to keep it there for most people, I would bet. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there's got to be other ways to do it, right? I mean, you can at least see what has been donated to it. So the problem with that is, though, here's the thing: is like, all right, so you could totally falsify those numbers and just like if let's say I had an Ether address and I took out coins and then reparse them back in, right? Like you could falsify how much has actually been donated to me versus how much is actually like sitting in my wallet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how they look at that, But
I mean, they could have just actually got hacked too.
Of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. This isn't really a reflection of this Taylor. I mean, I don't really know anything about him. I'm just speaking in general.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, honestly, some from an attacker perspective, right? Might be like, hey, this how could I make this look as realistic as possible? Yeah. So hey, how do I turn this pump and dump ICO, baby? Man, the guy got all the coins and they transferred them immediately to another coin, and now we're all out. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty vicious, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, next story. This is just another crypto miner one. Oh man, it's like every week. I don't even know do we really need to talk about these anymore?
I mean, if they're like a cool attack vector.
I mean, this one is through the Green Flash exploit kit, which I believe would infect visitors to websites through ads.
I remember this story.
Yeah, so it targeted OpenX ad system.
Yeah, that was like some massive vulnerabilities that were disclosed on ExploitDB over like a period of time, and I think they're just leveraging it. That'd be actually a good indicator. I wonder if we could look at like some of these miners that are going to see if they're like leveraging ExploitDB vulnerabilities and then just weaponizing them for
yeah, I bet. I mean, what was that? We just saw the one for the mining software.
Claymore.
Yeah.
Claymore.
Yeah, yeah. No, Sands ISC, like they saw scanning and probing for, I think it's, port 3333 for.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said on that episode was I'm showdanning those right now.
Yeah. So that was you, ISC was talking about.
Yeah.
Internet Storm Center. Yeah, Sands. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, more miners, more malware.
When does it stop? Ever? Is it just our internet is fucked and who cares? It's over. I mean, where are we at with this? I mean, yes, it sucks that it's the same story every week, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't think I see it enough, like in more of the mainstream InfoSec news, because nobody really cares about it anymore because it does happen so often. But if people are using this, to leverage access to your corporate systems and stuff like that, then, what else can they be getting access to? It's just scary that how prevalent it is means that that's how many people have gotten remote code execution on X amount of boxes out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's still serious.
For sure. No, absolutely. I mean, I think
it's an indicator of a more prevalent problem. These aren't just website injections or JavaScript injections or anything like that. These are full blown remote code execution. Somebody has crap running on somebody's system out there on the internet, and who knows what else is doing that.
Speaking of, I mean, if you took like a high traffic site and dropped like a persistent XSS in there and dropped CoinHive into it, like something that gets like lots of traffic and starts mining like Monero from that perspective. I know we've seen it on other sites early on. But I mean, I think that's still going to be it has to be somewhat lucrative if it's a high traffic site. Don't you think?
Sure. I think though that those, thanks to the work like that one of our guests before, Bad Packets, does, is there's a service out there and these scans for sites that have those malicious JavaScripts embedded in them. So I think it's a little more risky nowadays to do that vector versus how do you detect widespread mining where somebody's injected a mining binary into explorer.exe and it's just chewing up memory or chewing up RAM or CPU. So I think it's harder to correlate those attacks and shut them down versus we just scanned the internet and found that CoinHive is, because he literally has, I see him post every other day. Well, I found 3,000 sites with CoinHive injected into them. And now you just start notifying people.
Yeah, okay.
So, but you can attribute those injections of CoinHive to the same wallet. So you can get a pretty accurate picture of how widespread it is for one campaign. And I think that might be harder to do with something to where you've had remote code execution and you're a single entity that has that data. I think it's harder to track that way. So,
all right, this next story I thought was really, really interesting. So, Coincheck which was the hacked Japanese crypto exchange. They were the one that I believe had all the NIM stolen a while back. They're removing and are going to end trading for 4 privacy-oriented cryptocurrencies, including Monero, Zcash, Dash, and Augur. Following different I don't know if it's not regulatory, but maybe law enforcement talked to them about taking the privacy coins off.
Yeah, and it seems like there at the end of the article, they also talk about attracting quote unquote institutional investors to crypto. So I think if you're seen as somebody that quote unquote peddles in privacy coins that can be used for malicious purposes, maybe you wouldn't be seen as legitimate and you wouldn't attract those financial institutions that want to buy into the space.
Yeah, or maybe they just don't want to have the risk of having to deal with trying to track down, malicious activity that happens through those coins.
Yeah, that too. I can't imagine how often these places get subpoenas and stuff like that for information.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't really matter too much in the sense that you can always convert these coins on some other exchange or Shapeshift or whatever, so on and so forth. So whether they support it or not, I mean, they're just trying to offload that risk from looks like the CFT, their counter terrorist financing, anti-money laundering, and financial services agency. So they have all these different agencies they're trying to comply with. So I don't know.
Yeah, so this last story, Steve, you posted this one and in our little chat. So there's an ICO out there called Sentinel Protocol that is a threat intelligence for securing the blockchain. And I thought it was pretty interesting, actually. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to kind of just chat about it real quick. So on their website, they say that it's they're offering a cybersecurity ecosystem that leverages the collective intelligence of cybersecurity specialists as well as advanced technologies like machine learning and sandboxing to help crypto traders and exchanges protect their cryptocurrencies.
I am exploding from buzzwords right now.
I know. Honestly, there's no AI.
Wait, there's more. It works by providing a threat reputation database, which contains security intelligence information like the addresses of confirmed dangerous wallets belonging to hackers or malicious URLs.
Blockchain said S database.
Yeah, because they're always going to reuse the same wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I always choose the same payload.
So yeah, a lot of the stuff I guess is cool in theory. They've got some nice graphs and charts and stuff like that. And so on this Coin Bureau article that they have, but I don't know, like it's weird. So one of the things that they tout is their S wallet, which is powered by machine learning. It filters against wallet addresses with a history of scams, filters out malicious URLs, URIs, and malware, and then detection of abnormal behavior.
Why is my wallet sending coins everywhere?
Yeah. So I'm thinking like how I can embed iCar strings and send them to somebody's wallet and like get it to like delete itself or something.
Oh man.
I don't know. I'm thinking of like a smart wallet, like all the ways you could abuse that.
So, all right. I'm confused a little bit because like, all right, so a wallet software, right? It's typically just a piece of software, right? So, all right. So one of the sentences I see here, it says the S wallet is especially effective against ransomware threats. Now, like, all right. So an operating system, okay, like yes, like let's say the operating system has a piece of software that protects it from ransomware. I get that, but how are you protecting a wallet from ransomware? Like, is it protecting itself from being encrypted?
Honestly, I'm just looking for the ICO. I gotta send them money. So
okay, so how
about that airdrop?
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate here against myself for a second because I came into this thinking like all the buzzwords, this is kind of a joke and all that stuff. But I just got to their team, and now I haven't validated what I'm reading right now, but these are the guys from Darktrace, and Darktrace is a pretty legit tool that uses AI to identify threats on networks. I've firsthand been dealing with a few customers in the last couple months that have been using Darktrace, and I don't know. Cisco, Palo Alto networks, Fortinet, F5 networks, and Darktrace. Now, I don't know what this means, but if we look into these guys, that's the founder, CEO, the co-founder, head of operations, F5 networks, Darktrace, and then their chief evangelist. And if this is their team, and if their team are with these organizations or have been with these organizations in the past, then this might be something a little bit more legit, despite the marketing.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, so they have.
Oh, go ahead.
They have the Sentinel Protocol token economy, they call it. Also, incentivizes. Basically, it sounds like a bug bounty program.
It reminds me a lot of. We talked about Polyswarm before, and also Hacken.
Mm-hmm. Both sure.
Polyswarm and Hacken. Like this reminds me a lot of those as well.
Yep.
But I mean, this kind of being centered around wallets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like how secure I need my wallet, like to filter from bad URIs and malicious URLs and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just honestly not sure like what the scope of this stuff is yet because I haven't seen the white paper or anything.
Yeah. So the way it sounds to me is like it doesn't really sound like something more for an end user. It sounds like something good for an exchange. Like an exchange wallet. That's awesome if it has all kinds of filtering from anything malicious and like what was one of the things they listed? They listed filter against wallet addresses with a history of scams. I think that's cool. Detection of abnormal behavior. Then there's the distributed malware sandboxing, and the Sentinel portal. So this is one of those things, though. This is another one of those things that I'm wondering why it requires a token. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to it just being a piece of software.
Well, I think they're using the tokens as what do you call them? Rewards for the bug bounty program. So instead of paying for people to update the software, they use the tokens to pay people to add rules and stuff like that to it, signatures.
Cool. All right. Well, let's see. It looks like the public sale starts on May 27th. Oh, the Sentinel Protocol's token pre-sale starts May 23rd, which was yesterday. And their public sale starts on May 27th. They're looking to raise $32 million, $32.9 million, and have already raised $23 million. So they are on their way. They are on their way. They're not storing it all in a single hot wallet.
Yeah. I hope it's secured by their Sentinel.
Yeah, I was going to say, they have the technology. They can secure it.
Yeah, sounds cool. I hope it works as cool as it sounds.
Awesome. Well, we need to wrap it up, guys. We are hitting the end of our time. It has been a pleasure, as always, to have you guys with me. And, again, thanks, listeners, for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Coincheck Podcast. Keep an eye on coincheckpodcast.com for links from the show. And subscribe. If you like the show, go ahead and, click that subscribe button. That'd be cool. And, if you want to leave us a review, that'd be awesome as well. We will see you guys next week. Over and out.
Later, guys.
Cool. Take care.